Hey guys, this is Grant Chachere of 45-7 Productions. I changed my name. It originally was 45-7 Media, but I like Productions better. It kind of slips off the tongue. But this is the first ever episode of the Recruiting More podcast. I have on a big time player, Reshad Sterling. He goes to Lutcher High School, which is right in between New Orleans and Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
He's an edge rusher, a 3-star edge rusher, and 6'3", 230. He was an all-state defensive lineman, and he's gotten offers from Houston, Louisiana Tech, Texas State, Tulane, UCF, Vanderbilt, Grambling, and Nichols. But he's been rising up as he's been getting a lot of interest from big time schools, and I'm glad to have Reshad on. Reshad, how you doing, my man?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Yeah, man. You've had a pretty crazy off season.
Yeah.
How's your off season been?
It's been great recovering and just trying to build myself to get better. That's really it.
Mm-hmm. And I know right now you're in Houston. You're getting ready to visit the University of Houston. What excites you? What excites you the most about this visit?
I just want to see how it is up there, like at the University of Houston. I've been to Houston like one time, but never really been outside. So this is gonna like give me a good description of how it is up there.
Mm-hmm. What was it like driving in?
Uh, it was nice seeing, but it was dark. The lights, everything. Not too much traffic. It was nice.
Yeah, and so I know you've been getting a lot of interest from LSU as of late. For someone who's from the state of Louisiana, what does their interest mean? What does their interest mean to you?
Huh, that means a lot. It tells you a lot. It means a lot. Definitely, like growing up, I watched LSU a lot, and now somebody close from home, Sabian Jones, who's there right now, I watch him a lot. So it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And a very very famous LSU alumni from Lutcher has been Jarvis Landry, and that's a pretty big deal for somebody. I think you're going to get a lot of those. Hey, you're going to go to school where Jarvis went, and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff. But what was because I know you visited them recently. What was that visit like?
that was awesome. Good food, everything was good. Coaches treated you well. You know, not the biggest recruit on the campus with him, but treated me like I was. So I loved it.
I mean, and that's saying a lot because you're a pretty good player, but the thing is that the 2025 class is pretty stacked at
Yeah,
LSU. Obviously they have Bryce Underwood, who's the number one quarterback in the country, a number one overall prospect in the country. Harlan Berry's the number one running back in the country. They have the number one wide receiver in the country, to Corey Moore. So I mean, you shouldn't feel bad about yourself. Those are all like big time players,
yeah,
and that's what LSU they
yeah.
want to become a big time program. So you know, besides the food and everything, like what coaches did you meet? Did you happen to meet the
Uh,
new defensive staff?
I met the whole new defensive staff. I even get to sit down with Coach Peoples, chop it up, even get to learn a little things about the defense. Like so, they're big on
Mhm.
energy, and I like the energy that's coming from all of them. So
Yeah. What was Did you were you able to meet up with Bo Davis and Kevin Peoples? Because I know they're.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm. What was your impression of them?
Coach Bo Davis keep energy. He big on energy. You walk in, he got energy. And Coach Peoples, that's cool dude, cool dude. He actually treated me well too. I know he had his bigger prospects there, but treated me well. So big.
Mhm. And what was because I know were you getting interest from LSU before they all got hired, or is that something that came after they got hired?
Um, before they got hired, before yeah, it was before they got hired.
And what was your reaction to kind of seeing all those coaches get hired? Because it started off with Blake Baker,
Mm-hmm.
then Bo Davis came along, then Kevin Peoples and Corey Raymond, of course, was probably the big one that everyone kind of recognizes, especially from Louisiana. So like, what was your reaction when you just saw all those names just kept, every time? Oh, boom, Blake Baker gets hired. Boom, Bo Davis gets hired. I'm pretty sure you're kind of like, oh wow, what does LSU do? What's going on over there in Baton Rouge?
So thing was, I knew they was gonna be dominant. Last year there was mistakes here and there, but coming in with the whole new staff, that tell me like this year they want to win. So that's something I like to be a part of. They want to win because I want to win too. So yeah, that's good.
Hmm. And moving on, uh, what other schools have given you interest? Because I know we talked about a little bit before, but can you kind of explain to the people back home, what other schools have been interested in you?
Cincinnati, Cincinnati. I speak with their defensive line coach day to day. And Ole Miss. Ole Miss have camped throughout the school, spoke with me. So when they came, that opened my eyes bigger.
Mhm.
That's a good school, SEC school. So that told me a lot about myself and how I play. So,
Mhm. And speaking of Ole Miss, like who came to visit you at school? Was it Lane and was it
no, I think it was somebody off of I think recruiting staff, like, or
okay?
maybe it's so much going through my head. I forgot the coach's name, but I got him locked in and stuff. So me and him
Mhm.
treated me. He told me some things, to work on. Like, I'm good as a player, but like, let's see how I am off the field. Work on me as a person. So I took that in deep when he told me that. So I'm working on myself as a person.
Mhm. And another school kind of want to speak on is UCF. UCF, there. I've been on Twitter a lot, and there's been a lot of Louisiana kids. There's been a lot of Louisiana kids that have been getting offers from UCF, and a lot of that has to do with their cornerbacks coach Trevon Reed, who is actually from the River Parishes, which is where Lutcher is. What has been your relationship like with Coach Reed?
Could read. um, Fantastic dude. Like, he just keep it real. Cause he came from where I'm from, like, not the exact same place, but he know how it is down in the River Parish for a player that's upcoming. So he talked to me a lot, but I also got to speak with their defensive line coach, Coach Ingram. So that meant a lot, and they told me some good things about myself. But Coach Trevon Reed, yeah, that's a good guy, definitely.
Hmm. And and also speaking about Houston, like does that the relationship you have with Houston, does that carry over from Tulane? Because I
Yeah,
know obviously Tulane was talking with you, and what's your relationship been like with Coach Fritz and his staff?
we got a tight relationship. Tight relationship. I haven't seen them since they came to Houston, so this is gonna be my first time seeing them. So I'm pretty sure we still got that relationship. Him and his brother. So
Hmm.
and Coach
Yeah.
Ross too. Coach Ross, the linebackers coach for Houston.
Hmm.
Yeah, very well. They don't have a defensive line coach right now at the moment.
Right.
So I spoke with Coach Ross, and we all tight. Seem like still, so that's good.
Hmm. Yeah, man. And do you still keep in contact with Tulane? Because I know they just brought in a new staff over there.
Uh,
But they've been making some big time moves. I mean, they brought in Chaz Preston from the transfer portal. They've been bringing in some big time names, like, and
yeah,
it took a lot of people around, not only just in this area by surprise, but around the country, because people were starting to talk about Tulane
right.
and recruiting, which I don't ever recall that ever happening in my lifetime. So, what has your relationship been like with the new staff over there at Tulane with Coach Summerall and all them?
Uh, we got an awesome connection. A lot of people don't know. Before I came to Houston, I went to Tulane. Like, I visited Tulane Friday
Hmm.
before I came up here. So I got on campus. I talked with Coach Wilk, sat in his office, did all those things, toured the campus, and hey, that was awesome. I was the only recruit on the campus, so that told me
Yeah.
a lot. So I was excited.
Yeah, what was that visit like? Because I know Tulane, they've kind of upgraded some of their facilities,
Hmm.
and they're paying a lot more attention to football nowadays. It used to be like for Tulane, when I was here, because my dad actually used to coach at Tulane. And one of the things about Tulane was the Knox and Tulane was that they really didn't care about the sports that much. But in the last 5 years, it seems like they've been really caring about sports. Everything's been going good, like not only just football, but their basketball team has been a lot better, and then their baseball team won their conference tournament last year. So, what was your visit like over there at Tulane?
Uh, well, one thing I could say is Tulane got some big things coming in the next few years. Their campus is going to change. The football part, like a lot of they're doing construction right now as we speak. I was there. They working. They got stuff up. So could be looking forward. They're gonna have a nice campus, like real nice.
Yeah, and you speaking of outside football, how was their campus? Because I know that campus is actually really nice. It's just like in the old, because Uptown's kind of like the older part of New Orleans, and there's a lot of historic buildings. So, what was your experience like, just like roaming around campus, seeing what's going on over there? And
Honestly, their campus bigger than what I thought it was, and I went around the whole campus. They got good people, you know, party. They have their little fun, but it's bigger than what I thought it was because I never been around the whole campus. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and kind of going to now some more personal stuff, but you're a defensive lineman and you've been kind of rising up to the rankings, but what do you think sets you apart from other players that play your position?
Uh, the biggest thing is everybody can get to the quarterback, but I stand out where I can stop and run. A lot of those guys, not hating on them, but they just can't stop the run as good as I can. So that's the part I try to work on my explosiveness from the hands. It's you get to the quarterback, but you got to stop the run before you could get to the quarterback. So that's big time. I know most college coaches probably like that about me. So yeah.
Yeah, I've watched kind of your tape, before I give you got on, but you seem to be you're a very explosive player. You tend to explode off the edge, but then also and but you're also just very aggressive. Every time it seems like you make a tackle,
All right.
it seems like the other guy might be hurting. So, what are some of your best attributes?
Um, honestly, I could do a lot of things, but far as me tackling somebody, you gonna feel me when I hit you. Like you gonna feel me, and that's my job to make you feel me. Like this all that practice. This not in the game. My teammates know I'm a dominant player. I can move quick. I'm not like stiff. I could do everything.
Hmm. And whenever I look at your film, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Von Miller because you have that kind of that build 6'3", 6'4", 230, 240 pounds. Is that who do you like to model your game after?
Me, really don't know. Really don't know. Maybe I'll say like a Von Miller, but like I don't know. I feel like I'm a little bigger person than that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I bigger person than that, but I'll say like a Von Miller, like you said.
mhm. Yeah. And who's your favorite player to watch right now?
My favorite player is Aaron Donald. I've been
Yeah,
Aaron. Yeah, that's my favorite player to watch.
yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, well, then that's that's no better answer than answering Aaron Donald because Aaron Donald is obviously one of the probably one of the greatest defensive linemen, if not the greatest defensive lineman of all time. Because the thing, unique thing about him is that he's not even a defensive. He's actually more of a defensive
Tackle.
tackle slash nose guard, through technique. But he has gotten like 15 sacks per year,
Right.
especially during his prime. So that he and he's also a little bit undersized too. So the fact he's been able to do as much from the position that he plays, it's pretty incredible. And that's if you say Aaron Donald, yeah, like you have to watch his film because I think you don't even have to be a defensive tackle. You could be a defensive end or even an outside linebacker. But there's a lot of things you can learn from watching his game because it all kind of applies to rushing the passer and getting after the person who has the ball, really, going through the backfield, stuff like that. So that's no better answer than saying Aaron Donald. That's not even the wrong answer. That's the best answer that you could give. But uh, moving on, this has obviously been a uh, very busy off season for you, and your season ended in November. So, how do how do you deal with all the distractions to kind of achieve your ultimate goal? And you're going to see a lot of that more as the months goes on because there's going to be even more schools going to be offering you by the summer because
Mm-hmm.
every time I look, it's like, oh, I just received an offer from UCF. Oh, I
Right.
just received offers of this team. So,
Mm-hmm.
how do you deal with all those distractions, especially as you get closer and closer to the season?
The biggest thing is I try to humble myself and I try to block out the outside noise. But I have teammates who, oh, you got this, you got the offers. Some of that stuff that don't really matter to me. Like the stars. the offers, that don't even matter to me. I try to tell them that daily, you know, because at the end of the day, the stars definitely don't matter. When you get to the next level, ain't no stars. So, you know, I just block out the outside noise for the main point.
All right, that's a great answer. Yeah, stars really don't matter. I mean, that's kind of been proven with Justin Jefferson,
Mm-hmm.
who was raised a 2-star coming out of high school. I mean, stars are really just a projection of like how many schools you've gotten offered and like who you've gotten offered by. Because and especially with even if you are kind of like a 3-star, and you get, let's say you end up going to like Tulane or whatever. That doesn't mean anything because you could ball at Tulane, and the next thing you know, you might enter the transfer portal. You might go to Alabama or LSU. I
All right.
mean, because I think that's just the modern day modern college football now. I don't think people should be copping stars because really it's like it's not about your play. It's about how people not only projected you, but who have you gotten offered by and how many schools have gotten you offered by. And because and also they change all the time. They change all like Dominic McKinley, who's a 5-star right now. He he was a 3. I think it was a 3-star going into the off like going to from his junior to senior year, and by the summer he was a 5-star.
Right. The crazy thing is,
Things change all the time. I mean, it's not like just because you maybe just because you only got like one offer, you're like a 2-star right now, doesn't mean you can be a 4-star by the end of the summer. Like Colin Billy from Terrebonne, same thing happened to him. Like he was kind of a unheard of guy, and then boom, 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 he's a 4-star. He's coming to LSU.
right.
So a lot of things can change. But yeah, moving on. But I think you've improved a lot from your sophomore to your junior year. You obviously became all state, all district, first team all district, all the accomplishments you would want as a high school football player. But what areas have you improved on? And what are some areas you still think you need to improve on?
uh, my film probably looked pretty dominant on my explosive hands, but I want to work on that more. You
Mhm.
know, something I have got better at going in from sophomore to my junior season was my quickness getting off the ball. I wasn't as quick my sophomore year getting off the ball, but my junior year, as you can see, that helps a lot when you get off the ball quick. You know, obviously, lineman hands still on the ground sometimes when you get off the ball quick. So, and that's I trained with somebody, and they told me I need to work on my get offs. So I went home. I work out by myself a lot and work on my get offs and my hand movements, all those things. You got to get the little things first. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, you know, because obviously when you're improving, obviously that comes with self reflection, but also a lot of it has to do with coaching. How have your coaches helped you with your development?
Oh, my coaches are fantastic,
Mhm.
and they're starting the weight room.
Yeah,
One of my coaches, Coach Diego, he makes sure we work.
yeah,
And doing, he makes sure you can't get over on him. He could just know when you're not working. But outside of the weight room, I got Coach Forsyth, Coach Rowdy Scott, just my whole coaching staff. They just want us to be our best. They push us daily, daily. They push us daily, especially me, you know. And they're just awesome coaches. Like I give them that. My coaches are awesome.
yeah, and your head coach is Dwayne Jenkins, who's
Yeah.
probably one of the better coaches in the state. I mean, he's I believe he's a 2-time state champion. I know he's at least won 2 at Lutcher, but
Yeah.
what has your relationship been like with them since for your freshman year?
Uh, Coach Jenkins, I've had a relationship with Coach Jenkins. I want to say like my end of my 8th grade year.
Mhm,
Speaking to him a little bit off and on,
mhm.
but now we all have a good bond from starting from my freshman year
Right, right,
because I
exactly.
was on kickoff team. So I used to run out the field. I was fast too. I was
Yeah,
bigger than what I am, like stomach wise.
yeah,
So they all clown with me, this and that. But like we locked in, I chatted up with them. Text their phone right now. They're gonna text back. So
yeah.
they love me. I got love for my coaches also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think I'm pretty sure Coach Jenkins, he's a workhorse. Obviously he has high expectations for you guys at Lutcher because Lutcher, you guys have won 8 or 9 state championships.
Right.
One of the more
All
successful
right.
programs in the state, and also amount of players. Like I said, it's also the school that produced Jarvis Landry. Uh, but yeah, man, what's it like to be a football player? Speaking of Lutcher, what's it like to be a football player at Lutcher. Like, like that's got to be a lot of work, a lot of dedication
Yeah,
because, of like I said, the high expectations over there at Lutcher.
right. It's awesome being a player there, but our main goal is get to the state championship. Like this district stuff, yeah, we want to win that, but we want to get to the championship. But also our team, like we got a lot of dogs. Like a lot of people around Lutcher could play ball. Like everybody name not out, but a lot of us could play ball and just that's how we got to the state championship. Actually, great
Mhm.
quarterback, great offensive line, great receiving core, great defense overall. So it's good. That's a good environment. It's a football, everyone around like football around there. So that's big time.
Yeah. And you're a part of that 2021 state championship, 2022
22.
state championship, with Lunch Winfield. I mean, he was doing his thing. I mean, he was incredible. Really should have won Gatorade Player of the Year that year. They gave it to Arch, of course. Well, it's Arch Manning, but like, but like Arch is great too. But I think, my opinion, that Lunch Winfield should have won Gatorade Player of the Year because he did everything for y'all. He passed the ball, he ran the ball. I mean, may have caught a few passes. He was an awesome player, but and really he was a main counterpoint in your team. But there's also a lot of great players on that team too. But Lunch is probably the most notable one that I think a lot of people remember from that year. But what was that experience like? Because I know you were a sophomore then. I think were you starting on that team? If
Yeah,
I'm correct?
I was sorry.
Yeah, and you're a young guy. I mean, you're sophomore. In your sophomore year, you're starting for that Lutcher team that won the state championship. What was that whole experience like from the start of the season, kind of going through the motions during the off season, and then ultimately catapulting you to the state championship at the Dome? I mean, that's a dream right there, and you got to experience that as a sophomore.
Right. Well, at the beginning of the season, people didn't expect us to get that far because we were small.
Right.
We're not the biggest team when we walk around, but uh, that experience in the Superdome was pretty awesome for me because I actually started both sides of the ball. So I played offensive line, offensive tackle, and I was on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
So just walking in the Superdome, I always wanted to play in there. I'm a big Lutcher fan. I used to always go watch John Trey Kirkland,
Mm-hmm.
those type of guys. So that was pretty awesome to me. It really didn't feel real. It didn't feel real. Like to this day, it still don't feel real. I go back on YouTube, I watch it every now and then. We talk about it around town, but like it just didn't. It still don't feel real, but it was very, very awesome. Just looking up at the lights and all those things. So yeah, it was a great time.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, that was a pretty incredible experience for you. Like I said, that's not many people get to experience that, man. Like, much. I mean, I remember Rustin, who won the 5A state championship this past season. The year before that was their first, I think, state title game since like 1998. I mean, there'd be times where like you're a successful program and you have that drought for like 15, 20 years. And there's not a lot of people that get to experience that. I mean, that's one of those experiences that like you can't take for granted because you may not happen again. I mean, that's a wonderful experience for anybody who's in high school playing football. Um, but yeah, but speaking of more personal stuff, but you know, this is your senior year. This is it. This is your last year and everything like that. I mean, like, there's nothing better than playing high school football because, I mean, you're not going to experience something like this again because obviously you're going to play college ball and then hopefully professionally too, but nothing will ever compare to high school football. But, you know, as I said, you're a senior and now you're going to be seen as the captain, the alpha dude in that locker room. What adjustments have you made as a leader now that you are a senior?
Mhm. Well, the adjustment I made towards my team, I haven't spoke with the whole team as a whole yet because I be in and out. But I just want everybody to like. What do I want? I want them to like play with confidence, and don't ever think like you're not good enough. Because now that I have the offers on the team, some people may back down from me in practice. I don't want that. I don't
Right.
want. It. So I'm gonna talk to the offensive line. That would be the biggest thing. I don't want you to back down from me because I'm still a regular person. They know that the offensive. I don't even talk about that half of the time. But as a team whole, I just want everybody to be dominant. Want to be out there, want to be at practice daily, not missing days. When we have free time, go get some work in. The little things, and if we do the little things right, we got a chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that's a pretty good answer. Again, like you say, you're the senior leader, and you got all this pub, on social media, and because
Yeah,
you've been getting offers and everything like that. But like you said, that doesn't mean that people should back down if you because you're a prestige. I mean, you also want to be held accountable from.
right.
It doesn't matter who they are and what they can be a freshman, but you still want to be held accountable because you're still
Yep.
a member of the team, and you guys will still have the same goals and everything. So that, I mean, that's a pretty good answer, my man. And last question: what do you like to do outside of football? Because I know this has been a pretty stressful time for you. Obviously for football season, that's always going to be a drag because you guys want to go to state. That's expectation at Lutcher, and then also now, like you begin all right now you're on a visit to Houston. You're probably gonna be going to more places to go visit and go see the facilities and talk to coaches and stuff like that. So, what do you like to do outside of football to kind of like just kind of relax?
I say play the video game, but I've been off and on that. So
Mm-hmm.
I would like to work out a lot. Like I get up early in the morning, go get a jog. Whether it's a jog, run up the levee, maybe with some weights, drill work. So I'm that type of guy. I'm a homebody. I'm a homebody, honestly. But when it get out, I'm working out.
Right. And what kind of made you start working out? Was that kind of just like a kind of a self-reflective thing? You went to some practice, maybe like, damn, I'm out of shape. Maybe I need to do this, need to do that. Or is it kind of just like, or was it kind of just from now? It's just something you like to do.
Uh, it was a thing after my freshman year. We lost. We lost my freshman year, third round, and I was the next man up because there was a bunch of seniors. So I said, hey, if I want to go to the state championship, I have to work for it. And not only that, I wanted to play ball at the next level. So I got to start early. I can't wait too late. So that would make me really start working out. I get that question every now and then because I was a big guy, like stomach wise, and I slimmed out. But yeah, definitely because I knew the next year, which was my sophomore year, I had the opportunity. So I wanted to take advantage of that opportunity. And I did pretty good, won the state championship.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys, that's Reshad Sterling, edge rusher from Lutcher. He's one of the fastest risers right now in recruiting. I'm glad I got to speak with you, my man. Thanks for hopping on.
All right, no problem, man. Anytime.
Yeah, and like that's his Twitter right there if you want to follow him. Also, just look up his huddle. I mean, he's a fantastic player, and you're gonna see him playing on Saturdays for sure. And if you want to see a glimpse of him, he's right there at Lutcher High School. Just go watch him, man. He's a great player, and I'm glad to have him on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and any last thoughts before we
Uh,
sign off?
well, that's it.
Yes, sir. All right, I got you. All
All
right,
right.
thanks guys for watching. We'll see y'all later.